Ancient wisdom described burnout and its cure thousands of years ago, and Western medicine did give it a different name. I grew up in India, being exposed to the word dharma like a sacred duty, although it never landed in me very clearly until very later in life. Now, the way I was told in my childhood years back in India was that dharma is something like a work that's yours alone to do, and the life that fits you like nothing else fits. So again, as I said, it did not land properly for me then. And then I came to America, pursued my medical training, residency, and as part of that, I ended up leaving that concept at the door, not consciously pursuing it, but instead I went to practices that made me belong to the system, which required living and practicing by data or evidence. And that's how I lived, that's how I practiced, and I ended up in burning out that way. So I remember one of the several nights sitting at the dining table across my son, who had something to tell me, very important thing to tell him, share with me, and I was on phone in one hand and he was across me, and I was looking at him and the phone in between while he's talking, and I had a very half-hearted response. You know what I mean? We all do that, which I stopped doing that a while ago. But when I did that, something really hit me. I had become a master of living that art of being there without actually being there. And what also hit me was that I gave my best to all my patients at work and gave that empty shell of mine to the family when I came back home. And I realized that that was not just exhaustion, and that's what dharma breakdown looked like and felt like. So because dharma is the thread that holds so many dimensions, and I'm going to simplify it in a way that anyone who has never heard what dharma is can understand, because there are so many complicated definitions of dharma out there, and it doesn't have to be that complicated. I'll do my best in keeping it simple. So it's a thread that holds several dimensions and faculties together. So, for example, who you are in solitude, who you are at work, who you are with your patients, who you are at home with your family, how truthful you are, what integrity. So all these should align. And when that thread that connects all these things together into one phrase, then you do not lose one part of your life. You lose everything else that's connected with it. Now that's dharma breakdown. I hope that's very clear to you right now. So then one night I was reading a neuroscience paper on nervous system regulation, and I stopped because while I was reading it, what I found was in these peer-reviewed papers was exactly what the Vedas, the ancient Hindu texts that spoke about human flourishing, actually had been saying all my life. That was fascinating, mind-blowing. And dharma is not just a spiritual concept, it's a neurological one. And when your life matches to who you actually are, then you will sense that regulated nervous system within you, and you can tell. If not, then it erodes slowly, gradually, quietly, and you become so excellent eventually at your job that you become a stranger in your own home. So I call that circuit responsible for that alignment as the neural source. And most clinicians that I work with had it severed over years without their knowledge. And there is a tool that shows exactly where your connection stands for you right now. And I call it the 3-zone check, which is private. It's not therapy. It's not on any record. It's interactive. It's just a way to measure what was always worth measuring.